Mm-hmm.
And part of that payment is then passed on to me in Ghana if the patients came from my network.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, we need to identify top notch hospitals, clinics, healthcare facilities, and professionals within the Asian markets. And
Okay.
the criteria to do that is available. The Global Health Index is available in terms of institutions, etc., etc.
Okay. Okay. I
Yes,
got it. I got it. So
we need
initially,
to do that.
next step,
Yeah,
we have to identify. Since from my end, I have to identify the top-notch hospitals which can be available for these kind of top-notch services for the foreign clients. Then,
absolutely.
yeah. Then once we have listed it out, and then we can approach the clients who are able to get their medical assistance from these hospitals, isn't it?
Yes, so we create a platform or a system which enables the clients to interface between all of us and these hospitals and clinics. That's right.
Okay. So how do you keep your clients databases, such as are you individually working with the clients, or how do you find your clients in this case? Because once we Google, or once we just having an online research, we can be able to identify the top-notch hospitals. That's not a big deal, right? And how we are
Yes.
going to identify the potential customers in this business?
Okay, so I am in Accra, and so I have a social media network.
Mhm.
I also have posters and flyers that I place in specific areas to
Okay.
let people know that I am able to connect them to top-notch services.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So one of the ways of doing that, and it depends on what we can agree to do, is I can have a flyer which has a domain name that Gastings Group and myself agree on,
Mhm.
and a patient simply click on a link on that flyer that will lead him or her into an interface
Mhm.
where you can have sort of a virtual reception or virtual office,
Mhm.
and that patient can interact directly with that virtual office about his or her needs.
Okay.
And in that virtual office, you will have someone who is able to connect to the various departments or professionals, or a secondary interface so that you can understand their challenges and offer them the next steps,
Mhm.
including um, information about how they may arrive in Singapore, for instance,
Mhm.
who's going to meet them at the airport,
Mhm.
whether booking that they need to do in advance from my end or at the interface,
Mhm.
um, a sense of assurance that they are welcome to Singapore, that they'll be safe.
Mhm.
So notice that's where the tourist concept comes in. The
Mhm.
travel and tourism concept comes in because the prospective patient has not been to Singapore before, and
Mhm.
the prospective patient to be comfortable about flying out of, let's say, Ghana or Nigeria or South Africa or Kenya or from the United States, etc., to
Mhm.
Singapore. So there has to be a tourism model in between that facilitates ease of travel for the patient. It also means that if the patient, for instance, needs a visa to travel to a specific country, and I know that between Ghana and Singapore, we don't need visas, I think, for
Mhm.
at least a number of days. So that's not part of the equation. I'm able to let them know if it's, for instance, Singapore, that there's a visa-free destination. But
Mhm.
they still want clear pathway of how they will move from Ghana to Singapore. Now, the organization that I've partnered with does all of that. My role is simply to identify patients who have a challenge, okay, and I input the specific challenge. If the patient is willing to disclose that to me, or if the patient is not willing to disclose that to me, I still input it into an interface. And that organization takes all of that over and simply confirms to me at the point that, or we have a system, a tracking system, which lets me know where the patient is in in the next steps.
Mhm.
until the point where the patient receives specific medical care, a bill has been raised, payment has been made. So they have a very transparent way of letting me know what is going on regarding the patient that I referred to them. And then at the end of the day, if there's a successful treatment, I get a commission.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm like a marketing agent on the ground who has a virtual concept of a clinic, who's seeking patients and offering them an opportunity. But once all of that is done, I hand them over to Gaston's group, and Gaston's group takes over from there.
Okay. I can get some ideas from the points whatever you have mentioned. And by the way, Mr. Foley, since we are considering we are having these discussions as from the perspective of B2B, business to business, we would like to discuss some negative points as well. I mean, I would like to clarify some things. Right? Yeah. Have you ever felt that this medical industry is in a high risk?
When you say high risk, I would want you to break that down a little more. High risk.
Definitely. Right. Definitely. Because as long as the points, whatever you have mentioned in today's meeting is, we are just connecting as a bridge in between the top-notch hospitals and the potential clients who are the patients going to be the hospitals, isn't it? So we are just bridges.
That's right.
Right. So we are the media in order to connect the patients along with the hospitals, right? So nowadays, since the technology, all the hospitals are having their digital medias in the internet. That means they are having their own website, they are having their own social media platforms and everything. So what happens if the potential customers directly connects to the hospitals rather than going through us?
Okay, I see what you mean. There is always a risk in relation to these matters because sometimes you find people wanting to go around. But in the business of referral marketing, there is also the element of trust, number one, and number two, there are other elements that we put in to ensure that we are not shortchanged. And what do I mean? Once we register a patient with a hospital, that patient is deemed to be our client.
Okay.
Such that even if the patient goes outside of our network and contacts the hospital directly, in that hospital's registry, the patient's name will pop up as having been first referred to by our network. And that is where matters related to trust and confidentiality come up. So our expectation is that the hospitals whom we've established this relationship with have a good database that suggests to them that patient Foley was first introduced to us through the Gaston network. And so that is locked in. If patient Foley at any other time comes through any alternative pathway, he is already logged in into that system, having first come from Gaston's network. And therefore, the hospital relates to us in that manner as a patient from the perspective of the point of a referral, a customer, and pay us our due accordingly. So we also need to establish those clear terms with the hospitals that we're going to be dealing with, and hope that the matters related to confidentiality, trust is the key word here, and respecting a mutual contract, the elements that we should be looking at.
Okay, I got it, right? So for this, in order to carry out this further, maybe for the next step, do we need to sign up any kind of an agreement with you, or do you have any terms and conditions in order to cooperate with us?
Oh, ab absolutely. We'll need to sign an agreement. I can discuss a wide range of terms and conditions. I can share with you templates from what I'm already doing with our current partner, etc.
Yeah,
so that it's more comprehensive.
And that would be really great, because I need to have another meeting with my teammates and my office colleagues in order to discuss about the matter, and I have to explain all the things. Maybe in future, if it is possible, we will be arranging another kind of a presentation with you, another kind of an online meetup with you like this, so that we all can get to know each other and we can come up for a particular point where we can start from.
Absolutely. Yes. So I'll share with you by WhatsApp.
Definitely.
Or email, if you can go email.
I'll send you my email then. So please share all the relevant details and particulars with my email, so that we will be able to check it and we will be able to go through it, right?
No problem, Gasting. I am open. I'm quite happy that the Asian markets, from my point of view, are moving recently. I was having a conversation with.
I'll try my best in order to bring the potential patients, potential customers actually from the Asian market, in order to provide the best healthcare services throughout our networks.
Excellent. And of course, the tourism aspect I mentioned to you is also quite critical, because everyone is talking to me these days about Singapore. Have you seen Singapore airport? So I go and watch it on Instagram. Have you seen this in Singapore? Singapore is the place to visit, and not the UK or the US, So all of that conversation is gaining traction, the Asian markets. Thailand is being talked about. There's another one, Turkey is out there also being talked about. The UAE is a big place. But each area seems to have its speciality. So we'll need to build that network also based on speciality, so that when a patient has a specific area, we know how to deal with it quickly. Yes, and from Ghana, there are a lot of people who have needlessly suffered severe stroke challenges that I don't think they deserve. There are a lot of people who are having knee arthritis. We need to support them. A lot of people who are having kidney problems, and we'll be pleased to have the possibility of transplants. And so there's some very specific areas that we can target. Finally, I met a lady from Singapore about 2 years ago. She visited Ghana, and she was talking to me about cosmetic industry. That I think there's a very good cosmetic industry somewhere there in Asia. We also have it in the UK. So that's another area quite a number of people are looking at to enhance their outlook. Yeah.
Okay. Seems we can join hands together, and we can do a lot in this industry, because I believe that I know a lot of people from my network, and we have, I think at the moment we have more than 25,000 professionals and casualties in the network. So I believe we can move forward very easily. Anyways, we will put our hard work in this, and we will go forward, right?
Good to know, Gasting. I am happy that we've had this conversation, and let's take it from here. I look forward to receiving your email address so that I can share additional details as we've discussed.
Sure. Thank you for your time, and have a very good day, Mr. Farley.
Thank you, Gasting. Cheers, Gasting. Good day too.
Bye. Good day to you. Bye.
Bye.